Hi, hello. Today we're going to be talking about the 7-star Quaquaval, I think that's how you say it. That will happen on Thursday night. I'm recording this on Tuesday night. This will come out Wednesday morning. This will give you some time to prep to build some Pokemon for it. But of course, we don't know what its exact moveset is going to be. But I have I guess technically 8 Pokemon that you can use for Quaquaval. But before we go over the 6 Pokemon that I specifically build, let's just talk about Quaquaval so you know what to expect going in. Quaquaval is a physical Pokemon here. It has 120 attack, so I did calculate a lot of physical moves. I'll show you those in a second. But the thing we want to worry about here is its ability, which is Moxie. What Moxie does is it increases its attack stat by 1 stage when an opponent faints. That is including, if you are playing solo, your CPU buddies. That's not good, because usually most people who play solo, they don't care if their buddies get knocked out, because it doesn't actually really matter. It doesn't reduce time. Where if you're playing multiplayer, if somebody gets knocked out, then time goes down. That doesn't happen in a solo situation. This is not good. This has potential for this being one of the hardest 7-star raids if they give Quaquaval some decent moves, which it does get. Really, water, fighting, and flying has really good coverage. And while it is a water and flying Pokemon, it's also a bird. And they've given, I think, 3 raid bosses at this point. Brave Bird, which is 120 damage, recoil move. That's very, guess what? This bird can also learn Brave Bird. So that's kind of scary. Speaking of moves, the 3 water moves I calculated were Wave Crash, Aqua Step, and Aqua Cutter. Aqua Step is its signature move. Every time it uses it, it gets faster. So imagine this. You belly drum Iron Hands, and you get knocked out. Maybe a crit. Maybe you weren't expecting the damage here. Maybe you took some damage prior. You come back in. Not only is Quaquaval faster because of Aqua Step, but it's also stronger because of Moxie, because you died. So that's not good. Aqua Cutter is a high crit move. On the physical side, we have Close Combat, we have Low Kick, we have Brick Break. I think just based off its ability being very good, I think Aqua. I don't think we see Wave Crash, but I think we see Aqua Step for sure. Every Flower Trick was on Meowscarada, and Torch Song was on Skeledirge, so I think for sure we see Aqua Step. Close Combat would be really scary and does quite a bit of damage. Brick Break would be annoying for screens. Obviously, this is a physical Pokemon, so running Reflect would be very helpful here. So if we see Brick Break, we could probably just get rid of screens with a different move. All my graphics have 6 moves, so you can just pick a different move from that. But Brick Break might be programmed, which maybe it just uses Brick Break at the opening, or maybe it uses in the middle. In that case, then we want to stick with screens. And Low Kick is only scary for specific Pokemon, obviously heavy Pokemon. Mega Kick is a normal type move. It's just the strongest normal physical type move it gets, so we calculated that. Really not that threatening compared to these, because these get same type attack bonus, because even though this will be pure water, it will still get the fighting boost from it originally being fighting. Ice Spinner is the reason why we're not bringing grass Pokemon. Well, there's 2 reasons. Brave Bird, which we talked about, and Acrobatics. Now, Brave Bird does 120 damage. I think Acrobatics without a held item does 110 damage. So ultimately, I just calculated if we survive Brave Bird, we survive Acrobatics. But both of these are really strong flying type moves, which makes grass Pokemon not a great pick. And then Ice Spinner and Triple Axle. Triple Axle is technically stronger than Ice Spinner. Ice Spinner's base 80, but Triple Axle has to hit 3 times in order for it to be stronger. So I did just calculate Triple Axle 3 times hitting consistently to make sure we can survive that. And our first Pokemon has a little bit of issue with Triple Axle, but also our first Pokemon can start Reflect. So it's actually not an issue once Reflect is up. And then Knockoff, just because it can learn this. So these are the moves we looked at the most when building our 6 Pokemon. On the status side, Feather Dance reduces our attack, Work Up increases both attack and special attack. Focus Energy is the other scary thing it can do. We've seen 2 raid bosses with Focus Energy, one of those being Samurott, where it used Focus Energy right at the beginning, and it keeps it throughout the entire thing. There's no way to get rid of Focus Energy once it uses it, which is good for us, but bad when the raid boss uses it. So if they want to make this raid as hard as possible, which they could, I guess. They could focus energy with Aqua Cutter, and it has Moxie, and it gets faster with Aqua Step. That in itself seems real bad. This is bad in general, but this with this is bad. These are just bad. Oh, also it just gets Sword Stance, which increases its attack. It also gets Bulk Up, which increases its defense and its attack. So this is not like a Skeledirge situation where Skeledirge's like threat was like Sing and Yawn, and we had a way to prevent that. We don't have a lot of ways to prevent what's happening here, like Taunt, but it could focus energy on turn 0, which there's nothing we can do to stop that. Let's talk about the 6 Pokemon that should be able to work regardless of this moveset. All right, our first Pokemon is going to be Zekrom. Zekrom is a really strong physical attacker. It does resist water because it's dragon. It does resist flying because it's electric. The only thing it's weak to is the 2 possible ice-type moves it gets. But the reason I'm recommending Zekrom here is because well, one, it's a legendary, so it's incredibly bulky. It has a really high base stat total, but it has 4 things we want. 1, it has Reflect, which is going to be great for your entire team, specifically you. 2, it gets access to Sunny Day. So this will prevent it, ideally, from using either the Aqua Cutter, if it has Focus Energy, or the Aqua Step to increase its speed. So Sunny Day is great because we can reduce the damage of all the water type moves, which it is Water Terra with Water Stab. So those would be its hardest hitting moves. We can reduce the damage for our entire team. On top of that, we have Breaking Swipe. So Breaking Swipe just works like Chilling Water, which we'll see later here. It will reduce the physical attack of Quaquaval every time you use it. Ideally, how you would play Zekrom is you would go in. If no one else can set Reflect or Sunny Day, then you have to set those. I would probably do Reflect first. And then once Sun is up and Reflect is up, you just spam Breaking Swipe until you can Terastallize. That will lower its physical attack. Once you Terastallize, you can use Fusion Bolt. Fusion Bolt is 100% accurate, does 100 damage. It will get the Terra Stab. Don't use Fusion Bolt early because you only have so many Fusion Bolts. If for some reason this is not working out for you, you can obviously switch it to Supercell Slam or Thunder Punch. Both of those work as well, but this is 100% accurate. Does a lot of damage. You're ultimately going to Breaking Swipe 3 times. You're going to Terastallize. You're going to Fusion Bolt. Once stats are reset, once Quaquaval resets its own stats, you will want to Breaking Swipe at least 1 or 2 more times just to control your team. The most important thing in this raid, and I cannot stress this enough if you've made it 8 minutes in to this video, the most important thing in this raid is just not to die, not to faint. Every time somebody faints, it gets a Moxie boost, and that is not good. So when stats are reset, just default Breaking Swipe to lower its attack again. I did build all these Pokemon on the bulky side. I know that the Zekrom is an attack build, so that means that you should have other, like the support builds are the ones that are supposed to be healing you, and the support builds are supposed to be setting up the Reflects and the Sunny Days and everything. But if you are doing a bunch of damage, and you notice that somebody is going to die, stop what you are doing and heal cheer. Just take a second. It's fine. You will be fine. You're probably bulkier than a lot of other Pokemon. You're going to do more damage than a lot of other Pokemon. But the second that a Pokemon dies and a Moxie boost activates, more Pokemon will start to die, and then more Moxie boosts, and the raid will fall apart. So everyone has 3 heal cheers. They're priority when you use them. If somebody is struggling or not catching up with heals or not paying attention, that's the one takeaway that I have in this video is do not let your teammates. You shouldn't let your teammates die in most raids, but when your teammate dies in this raid, it is going to go poorly if Moxie is going to activate every single time. EVs should be on screen. We're going to do 176 HP, 220 attack, 112 defense. This is, again, very bulky without sacrificing your attack. The item is going to be Shell Bell. Your ability is going to be Terravolt. It's useless here. It doesn't matter. This is Zekrom's only ability, so don't focus too much on this. Zekrom is also cool. It can learn Haze. So if there's something where Moxie is getting out of control and you don't need to run Reflect or you don't need to run Sunny Day because somebody has that up, Haze is a good panic button that you can press that Zekrom does get. So just some options here, especially like I said earlier, if you're paying attention, if you're not skipping around. If Quaquaval has Brick Break, Reflect is probably not going to be optimal for this raid. Our next Pokemon is not really a heavy hitter. It is more of like the all-arounder in between with support, but can do damage. It's going to be Gyarados with the Electric type Terra. We're going to give it Chilling Water. Same as Breaking Swipe, that's going to control attack. You're going to open up with Chilling Water here. You're going to get Electric Terra Blast. You're going to get Sunny Day. Again, that's going to reduce water type moves, the damage, and then you're going to get Taunt. If Quaquaval is going to maybe focus energy mid-game, this is where we're going to Taunt to stop that focus energy. If it's going to Swords Dance or Bulk Up before its shield goes up, we're going to Taunt to stop that as well. If there's no way we can do that, you can just remove Taunt. There's other moves that Gyarados can get, like Scald to burn it, or Dragon Cheer to make sure that you critical hit with your teammates. So Taunt is there because we should always have a Taunter to stop stuff. There is situations where we can't stop stuff. The thing about Sunny Day, and why you'll see Sunny Day on a lot of these builds, is because a lot of these Pokemon will go pure electric. And while electric resists flying, electric is neutral to water. So before you Terrasilize, setting Sunny Day will reduce that strong water damage. And that's why that's there. So for all of these Pokemon, before they Terrasilize, just make sure Sun is up to reduce the water type damage. If we are expecting a turn 0 Aqua Step, where it's going to do damage before we even get a chance to attack, that Intimidate coming in will hopefully give us time to prepare and to set up properly and give us a little breathing room so it's not hitting really hard out the bat. Now, I did put a Citrus Berry on this because, again, it's not really a damage dealer. I am not a huge fan of Leftovers. I've talked about this before in some of my old videos. Ideally, with Gyarados, I just did some quick math. Gyarados has 394 HP. That means Leftovers will give it 24 HP every turn. Citrus Berry will give it 98 HP when it activates. This means that Leftovers has to go for 5 turns straight in order to outperform Citrus Berry. Now, you might say Leftovers is better, but that's assuming you have damage to begin with, because Leftovers isn't going to activate if you're at full health. And if somebody is constantly healing, then you won't need Leftovers anyways. And the problem I have with Leftovers and why I'd never recommend it for raids is because it eats a lot of the raid timer. I think Citrus Berry is more optimal in a situation. 1, it's not eating the raid timer. 2, again, you need to go over 5 turns for this to be more effective. And 3, once you drop below half, that means that the raid boss maybe did a move that is like 55% damage or 60% damage to you, and you drop below half. This will help you survive that second hit for sure. 24 HP might not be enough to survive the second hit off of Leftovers, where 98 should push you above that threshold, specifically with Gyarados' HP, where we're using this as an example. So it is a really good like panic item of I'm not going to get 2-shot. Now, obviously, I built Gyarados so it doesn't get 2-shot, but that's where I find like the Citrus Berry is really good for that one situation in a raid where a crit happens or you take a high damage roll, whereas Leftovers doesn't really, like 24 HP probably isn't going to save you, especially if the raid boss is outspeeding you every time. That's just my personal preference. I think Leftovers waste too much time, and I just don't think it's giving you enough health back. With any of my raid builds, feel free to change the held items to fit your playstyle. Like, that's why I put 6 moves on these graphics. So, you know, if you're playing with specific people, or you're playing with Grandma and Grandma loves the Sunny Day and you don't need a Sunny Day, you can remove Sunny Day off your Gyarados because Grandma has the Sunny Day covered. You can put Scald or Dragon Cheer in between. Ideally, Gyarados is pretty much played the same as Zekrom. You're going to come in, you're going to taunt or Sunny Day depending on what you need. If you don't need to, Chilling Water, Chilling Water, Chilling Water. Make sure Sun is up. Terrasilize, Terra Blast. And if Sun goes down, put Sun back up. And when stats reset, Chilling Water again. At least once or twice before you go back to Terra Blast. Gyarados is not going to hit very hard. It's not going to hit as hard as Zekrom. You know, Zekrom's hitting, you can't see with my camera. Zekrom's hitting for 430. Gyarados is hitting for 341. So it's not going to hit as hard as Zekrom. But Now, the next Pokemon is the Pokemon I'm most excited about. And if you've made it this far in the video, please hit the like button or the subscribe button. It really helps out. Please share this with your grandpa. I know Grandma is very good at raids. Grandpa needs some help. But speaking of Grandpa, he might like Houndstone, which I'm super excited about. We're going to do an electric Houndstone with zoom lens here. Now, one of the coolest things about Houndstone is his ability you've probably never heard of. That ability is fluffy. It means that physical moves that make contact with you, which is Aqua Step, which is, close combat, but that doesn't matter because you're a ghost, which is, Brave Bird, they do half damage because you're fluffy. You're a fluffy dead dog. The only downside of fluffy is if you're hit with a fire type move, it does double damage because you're flammable. But Quaquaval doesn't get any fire type moves, so we're good. We're good here. We have a pretty bulky Houndstone. Let me double check what the EVs are. 236 HP, 32 attack, 240 special defense, impish nature. Again, I calculated all these EVs to survive the best as possible without, having diminishing returns here. Houndstone with the zoom lens means our Will-O-Wisp will be 100% accurate. So what you're going to do right away with Houndstone is you're going to Will-O-Wisp. That's going to burn it. Even if Quaquaval is getting critical hits with Aqua Cutter, it will still do less damage for the entire team. The whole point of these raid builds is to keep the team alive so Moxie doesn't activate. Thunderfang is super effective damage. Sunny Day, we've talked about that to reduce water damage. And then the bread and butter here is Howl. Howl is going to boost the physical damage of Gyarados and Zekrom. So Houndstone is pretty much full support. You're going to burn. You're going to keep Sun up. This means that, if these three are playing, Houndstone will be in charge of the Sun. You'll keep Sun up so the water damage doesn't do a lot. And then in between, you're going to Howl. Now, you can probably Howl like once or twice at the beginning. But remember, you're going to get a stat reset. And then after the stat reset, there shouldn't be any more stat resets. So that's when you really go howl crazy. You'll be howling all night. So ideally, how I would play this is I would probably start with the Will-O-Wisp. I would Sunny Day. I would probably just Thunderfang until stat reset, and then I'll start howling. And then you should have Terra at that then too. The great thing about Howl is it also boosts your attack. So you can't see Houndstone's attack, but it's 246 compared to Zekrom's 430. So you're definitely not going to be doing a lot of damage. So even if you Will-O-Wisp Sunny Day, you can squeeze in some heal cheers, maybe a defense cheer. But once the stats are permanently reset on your side, then you can just Howl, keep your team alive, and now Zekrom and Gyarados will be able to do way, way, way more damage. This also works with a Pokemon called Iron Hands. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. He's kind of a new Pokemon, not a lot of use in raids. I am very fearful of random people in raids using Iron Hands, belly drumming, taking too much damage, Moxie happening, and then taking way too much damage on the back. So I think if you are running Iron Hands, which I didn't build, I did a whole Iron Hands video. Watch that video for the best Iron Hands build. You'll just have to switch out Drain Punch for Thunder Punch. I think you should maybe run a Swords Dance Iron Hands instead, because again, don't want to faint. And Howl will pair really, really good with Iron Hands. So there's your Iron Hand shout out. That's why he's not on the graphic. I already made one. Go look at that video. But Howl works perfect with Gyarados, Zekrom, Iron Hands, any other physical Pokemon that I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm really excited for this. If you like playing healing and you want to go back to all support, we're just doing Cresselia with Light Clay. That obviously makes the Reflect last 8 turns instead of 5 turns. Ability Levitate doesn't matter here, not as exciting as Houndstone's ability. We're going to do Mud Slap, Reflect, Lunar Blessing, Sunny Day. I've talked Sunny Day to death. You know why it's there. Here's the thing. Well, actually, I do have a thing to mention about Sunny Day. Cresselia resists fighting type moves, but it doesn't resist water moves. So that again is why Sunny Day is here, because we want it to stop using Aqua Step, and we just want to reduce that damage. Mud Slap reduces its accuracy, which Cresselia can get a grass type move, but so I just don't think Cresselia needs any damage. You can replace Mud Slap with Helping Hand or something, but in between your Reflect and your Lunar Blessing and your Sunny Day, you can just Mud Slap, and I think that helps out the team just fine. I think Helping Hand is also perfect if you don't need a Sunny Day, if somebody else is Sunny Daying, but we're just running a really basic 252 HP, 252 defense, 4 speed. The 4 speed does give you the speed creep, That really only matters on turn 0. If it doesn't Aqua Step, you'll just go first. So you'll just get to set Reflect. Obviously, once it starts Aqua Setting, it doesn't matter. But the 4 doesn't matter anywhere else. What are you going to do? 4 in Special Attack? The Mud Slap's not going to do any damage anyways. So if there's no turn 0 Aqua Step, you at least outspeed until the first Aqua Step. So that's why the 4 is there. Again, not that big. Not that big of a deal. Bold Nature for Cresselia. She's a queen. Slowbro is back. This is a support Slowbro. Heat Rock is there. You know what Heat Rock is for. You guessed it. Sunny Day. We're doing Regenerator, though. Regenerator doesn't work in raids. It's a garbage ability. But we're giving Slowbro Skill Swap to remove the Moxie ability. This probably won't matter if you're playing with the first 4 Pokemon I've given you. Those first 4 Pokemon should clear the raid no matter what the moveset is, because you'll have the Reflect, you'll have the Sunny Day, you'll have the Burn, everything you need. But if you're playing with randoms and you know they might faint, Skill Swap will remove the Moxie. And then this is really weird because you're setting Sunny Day, but you have 2 water moves, which is silly. But Chilling Water just to reduce the attack. Again, support Slowbro. And then Scald to go for the burn. Will-O-Wisp will only work when the shield is not up. So Scald on both Gyarados and Slowbro will have a 30% chance to burn when the raid shield is up. So that can just be helpful, obviously, to 50% have the physical damage you're doing. Again, you can switch moves out as you please, but I really built these Pokemon in mind to, not let Pokemon die or faint, whatever word you want to say. EVs for this is 252 HP, 252 defense, 4 special attack. Again, your special attacks doesn't matter. You're gonna be in Sun. None of these water moves. This Pokemon's not gonna do any damage. It doesn't matter. Your moves are just utilities at this point, so there's no way around that. But yeah, you'll be healing too. So you'll be using the Heal Cheer. These two, Cresselia doesn't have to use Heal Cheer because it's Lunar Blessing. But Heal Cheer, Heal Cheer, Heal Cheer if things are going bad. Heal Cheer if things are going bad. But this is our one way to remove the ability. You're probably going to say, what about Superior? Superior does not eat a Brave Bird very well. It doesn't eat Triple Axle very well. Those, I guess, if for some reason they do not give Quaquaval a Flying type move or an Ice type move, a lot of Grass Pokemon would be viable. But I find that hard to believe. Also, my battery died during this. Oh no, this wasn't part of the script. Okay. We're back. Wasn't part of the script. Cresselia and Slowbro will never need to Terra, for the record. That doesn't matter. You'll never Terra these. They're full support. You can Terra Houndstone if you want. Once you're howling, you'll do some damage for sure, but don't expect to do a lot of damage here. If you want to do a lot of damage, maybe Rotom. Wash. The washing machine. Shell Bell is your held item to get health back. You have... Oh, I didn't change the moves? Oh my gosh, this is the wrong... This is the wrong Rotom. It's fine. I'm just going to put the graphic above it. Ignore my wrong Rotom. It should know Thunderbolt, Nasty Plot, Reflect, and Will-O-Wisp. If a Will-O-Wisp you're going to start off with, you won't have the 100% accuracy because of the... if you've made it this far in the video, this is the nightmare part. Will-O-Wisp won't have 100% accuracy. It'll be 85 because you don't have the zoom lens. You have the Reflect, you have the Thunderbolt, you have the Nasty Plot. Please don't open up with Nasty Plot. Just build to get to Terra with Thunderbolt. Again, Nasty Plot once your stats reset. Rotom can do a lot of damage because of Nasty Plot, but it's not a team player. It doesn't... Well, it's a team player in the sense that it can Reflect and Will-O-Wisp, but it doesn't get the Houndstone benefit, unfortunately. But this is kind of like your budget Miraidon. The other Pokemon that you don't see here that you're going to ask about is Miraidon. Miraidon has the same issues as Zekrom. I do think Zekrom's a little bit bulkier for my calculations, but Miraidon does have Parabolic Charge. It does set Electric Terrain, although that might not matter with Ice Spinner because that's just going to be removed right away. So Parabolic Charge is one of the best Electric type moves, and only 3 Pokemon get it. Miraidon, Bellibolt, and Dedenne. Unfortunately, Dedenne doesn't work here. You could use Bellibolt, but I was calculating Bellibolt was taking too much damage from just basic fighting type moves. But Bellibolt also gets Parabolic Charge. So the 3 Pokemon not pictured here are Iron Hands, which again made that video. Go watch it. Miraidon, which I think can work. It's just If you have Miraidon, you're probably not watching this video because you're probably just going to tell yourself I'm going to use Miraidon, or you're waiting for me to mention Miraidon. Here I mentioned Miraidon. I think Miraidon is fine. Parabolic Charge, Breaking Swipe. Actually, I don't think it gets Breaking Swipe. Maybe that's why I didn't recommend it. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. But I've built Miraidons in the past, so just use those Miraidons. Belly Bolt, which does get Chilling Water and Parabolic Charge. So I think if you are running Belly Bolt, you'll need to do, for sure, Chilling Water to control damage. I think those can work, for sure. But here are some new Pokemon that you can use. Again, I built all these Pokemon to be pretty bulky. So Rotom Wash is 240 HP, 92 defense, 176 special attack in bold. So with the Shell Bell to get HP back. And again, I'm a broken record, but probably don't Terastallize until Sun is set up, so you're not taking a bunch of water damage once you go pure electric. You do resist the water, you do resist the flying, but you don't resist the fighting. But that's what Reflect or Will-O-Wisp is for. So those are all 6 builds. I've mentioned multiple Pokemon in this video, so if you need help, you can join our Discord. Our Discord is more than welcome to help you. I will be streaming this on Twitch on Thursday night. So you can come to Twitch, just say you need help. I'm more than happy to help. Make sure you IV train. Make sure you EV train. Make sure your Pokemon are level 100. Double check your ability. Double check your moveset, like my Rotom, which has the wrong moves because I messed up. This is not the right Rotom. But make sure you check all of that. And my last bit of advice, if you are playing solo, which again, I don't do solo builds. There's a bunch of YouTubers that do solo builds, not me. There's not a bunch of YouTubers doing group builds. But if you do decide to do solo, you're probably going to want to reset for at least 2 different Intimidators. So your 3 Intimidators are Tauros, Arcanine, and Staraptor. I think you want 2. I don't think 1 is going to be good enough because every time they faint, like if you have Arboliva, if it faints, Moxie activates. At least if Arcanine faints, it comes back in and it intimidates. I don't know if you can reset for all 3. I've never seen that, but I know you can reset for 2. So at least try that. Anyways, thanks for making it to the end. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching these raid builds. I will be continue doing them for the rest of the year as we get more raid builds. That's it. I've yapped too long. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.